Hi everyone, my name's Amanda Bigelow, and I'm talking to you today about breaking bad habits. I'm a food as medicine and personal lifestyle practitioner, and I've had to break a lot of bad habits to get to where I am today. And thank God I did that. Otherwise, I'd probably be in some ditch somewhere, wallowing away in my self pity. So let's get into it. Well, so why do we have bad habits that ruin our life, our potential, and we really can't afford not to have better habits in the world that we live in today? Given it's demanding so much of us, we really need to have the self-care in place in order to function properly and make a life work for us. So there's lots of reasons. We'll talk about why we have them. There's lots of reasons why we have them, and we're full of those, and they're the excuses that stop us from actually moving on and creating better habits. So things like too busy to change, just got too much going on. I'll do it when I'm finished with something. Someone did something to me, that's the victim mentality, or something happened, and so on and so on. They're the excuses and the reasons. Then I think there's a thing called a semi root cause, like it's something that maybe happened to us, and something actually happened to all of us a long time ago, and it was when we were really young, and someone, maybe a parent or something, happened that was not meant to be a bad thing in our life, but because we couldn't reason it, we were too young, we adopted a stance to that, and that's kind of held us back in our life, and we've developed some things, reasons, and bad habits that prevent us from fulfilling our true potential. And that's about identifying what that something is and then just dealing with it and moving on. Then I think there's a real root cause, and that impacts us all, I think, as human beings, and that is that we just don't really love ourselves. And I know that's a trendy word, but not even trendy, but just overused. But I just think that's the truth. Because if we did, we'd look after ourselves, we'd look after our body, and we'd want to be in love with the, the greatest being that we can be, that we really are. And because we're not doing that, that must be in the absence of that self love. So there you have it. So, what are some bad habits? Like, obviously, there's some biggies. I find poor sleep, insomnia, massive on the planet today. So, we really need to get a better sleep. Stress, eating bad foods, taking in bad substances, addictive substances like sugar, alcohol, drugs, you name it, they're all addictive. So I think bad habits are addictive. You just got to create the good ones. Fear, we can have a victim mentality, we can be really good at starting something and not finishing it. Like there's a whole list. So I'll let you discover what your bad habits are or bring them to a greater light within yourself. So, how do we change bad habits? Now, this is really important. This is about shining a light on us, on ourselves, and those habits. So, know thyself. Not get to know who you really are, warts and all. Dig deep. Get clarity. So, 50% of changing a bad habit is getting clarity around what it is, and to do that, you've got to really shine a light on what that habit is and have some courage to do that. And then you've got to identify, you know, how how you want to deal with that. And to do that, I contemplate. And I think contemplation is a fabulous way of letting things just come to the surface around what you want to change in your life. So, the next thing I would say, which is really important, is not to wait for motivation. Yes, that is a real trick. Now, everybody seems to say, oh, look, when I'm really into this or when I've got the motivation, I'll get into it. It doesn't work like that. You've actually got to start changing the habit first, and then the motivation will build and grow, and you will really start to love the experience of that change. So, in order to do that, I suggest you take small steps. When you go full bottle, whiz bang, I'm going to change this bad habit, you kind of do it momentarily and then it just fizzes out. So when you take small steps over time, what happens is you change your behavior. It's as simple as that. The mind and your life and your body and your personality need time to change truly, and that means true change. The rest of it, if you don't do that, it's just a sort of flash in the pan, and then it's gone, and you're back to your other habits because they're pretty strong. The ones that you've had around for a while, they are strong. So, the other thing to do is while you're in the process of changing your habits, get into praising yourself. This is the self love stuff. Start creating a few little sentences around, or words, mantras, whatever, around how wonderful you are, because that's what's missing for many of us, and that's what's going to help you to actually believe in yourself to make these changes. It goes hand in hand. So I suggest that you put that on the list as well. Now, when you're going to do these small steps, what you can also do is crowd out the bad habits. So by doing that, you don't just go, right, I'm going to do this and change it and then it'll all be gone. You semi change it. You put some other thing, you trick it, you put some other thing in its place. And by doing that, it's sort of like more of an easing through the change. And that makes it easier to get into the change. And once you're in it, you're motivated, everything's going well, and away you go. Another thing you can do is you can tell others exactly what you're doing and tell them that you really like their support and that they feel free for them to remind you, to ask you questions, how you're going, and just be on your side. That, once you also tell people, you've made a commitment, and that strengthens your commitment. So you can also make an agreement with yourself. So write something down as a firm agreement, and post it up around the place on your mirror, on your fridge. Mirror's a great place because you're looking at yourself, and then you're seeing this thing that you want to do for yourself. So take it on in little bits. If you fall over, keep going. Do something every day, no matter how small. It can be a split second, walking up the stairs, getting in the lift. Just say that thing in your mind that you want to change. Okay, so that's it. And I hope you go well with it. And just remember and believe in yourself, and that you are wonderful, and that your life deserves for you to live it in a wonderful way. Thank you.